Earlier when we were in that commercial job site and I was showing you the LAR250 that does horizontal and vertical, I also told you that it does one more thing, it does slope. And we call it simple slope, and what we mean by that is our laser will slope in one direction, down 5 degrees, or up in that same direction 5 degrees. And the simple part means it stays in that axis. And the opposite axis, the level's always still the laser's always still going to level. So now that we're outside on a job site, I wanted to quickly show you an example of how the simple slope works. Now keep in mind this is an example because on these kind of job sites that you're doing slope, it's typically over a great distance. I'm going to show you quickly over a short distance how we would lay out the laser to use simple slope. So the first thing that we would do is we're going to turn the laser on. I know it sounds simple, but we got to turn it on, and we need to let the laser go in level because we need a benchmark to be able to measure from in order to get slope. So when it's in level, I'm going to go out here 10 feet away, and we've already marked it out at 10 feet. I'm going to make the receiver level with the laser, okay? So at 10 feet, and I've already put my receiver on 0 on a grade rod, keep in mind. So now I'm going to extend my grade rod until I hit 0. Which is right there. So now we have a horizontal plane and I know where level is at. But now I need to go back to the laser and I need to turn on slope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the Z button that's on the corner here on a simple keypad. There's only 4 buttons. I'm going to hit the 4th button. Now the Z's on. Now I'm in slope. Now I go back out to my 10-foot mark, and with my remote control, I can control the slope. So typically on underground piping, as an example, the pipe needs to either run at 1/4 inch per foot or 1/8 of an inch per foot slope. And what I mean by that is for every foot of run, it needs to go down 1/4 of an inch. So simple math on simple slope here is if I'm out 10 feet, I need to go down 2.5 inches. So what I would do is I'd take this DTEC receiver here and I'm going to loosen it up. I'm going to move it down to 2.5 inches. And with our high-low rod, with the simple numbering system of 0 being in the middle, it's easy to find 2.5 inches. Next thing I do is I take the remote control, and there's a down button on the bottom of the remote. I'm going to push that and steer that laser down until I hit even tone. When I do that, then I know that I'm at 1/4 of an inch per foot and I can go to work. So I'm going to do that now. A little bit more, right there. Perfect. The LAR250, the off-road commercial laser, is designed for job sites just like this. Both with the rugged design so it can take the kind of abuse that happens on a job like this with multiple guys, and also with the functions that this laser does. One really important application that you do with commercial work is you have to take the layout that's snapped on the ground, you have to transfer it up to the roof deck. So here what we have on this application is we have a chalk line that goes across this foundation down onto the slab and back up into the foundation. And what we need to do is we need to get this layout up there about 30 feet in the air up on that pan deck. So how we do that is with this laser here, we have such a simple function on it. All you have to do is turn the laser on, lay it down, and then the laser knows exactly what to do. So I'm going to do it right now. First thing I do is I lay it down on the chalk line. The laser starts to level on its own. As soon as it spins, it's plumb already. So as soon as it spins like that, I need to do a fine adjustment and make sure that that line is lined up, the laser's lined up exactly on my line. So there, right below the laser, I'm lined up right on my layout line. The hard part though, moving forward, is to ensure that the laser that's spinning is lined up on the rest of the line. And sometimes the lines are 300 feet long. So the hard part is getting it lined up. And normally it takes 2 guys. We have a guy on the other end yelling down to me, Jason, move it that way. No, move it back that way. And it takes a long time. It's really frustrating. So we've changed how we do that now. The way I'm going to do it, I can do it all by myself. I use a receiver, and in this case I have the DTEC receiver that comes with this laser. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk down to the other end of the chalk line, and I've got a black mark that's on the DTEC receiver here that we call deadband. That's 0, right? So I'm going to take that black mark and I'm going to line it right up on the chalk line. So I'm going to walk down there now. So after I get the receiver lined up on that chalk line, I'm going to walk on down to the other end again and I'm going to steer the laser into place. This is probably my favorite function on this laser. Back when I was doing commercial work, if I would have had this, I would have been unbeatable. It makes me almost want to go back and do it again. This laser here, I don't have to bend down and move this around at all. I actually just take this remote control here and I can steer that laser into place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand down on that chalk line and I can kind of tell what side of the chalk line the laser's on right now. It's telling me that it's on the right side of the chalk line right now, so I know that I have to steer left. It's as simple as taking that left button and turning it that way. So I'm going to push it until I hear that receiver start to beep. When it starts to beep then, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of tap on that button, which is a fine adjustment, and it's going to move a little bit more. A couple little taps, one more. I went past it. Right there. It's as simple as that. All I did is took that laser line and I steered the whole laser with that remote right there. I don't need that other guy anymore. So now that the laser's lined up on that chalk line, now I know that I can take that chalk line and put it up there. So next thing I would do is I would jump on my lift and go on up there and get to work. Now that we have this laser lined up on this chalk line here, this layout line, the laser's actually doing one more thing that I want to show you. If you look out of the top of the laser here, I have a beam coming out. What that beam is a 90-degree beam. No more doing 3, 4, 5 with a tape measure or a large reel tape. All I have to do is I have to take this laser beam here and transfer it down to the concrete here, and I've got 90 degrees automatically. Fastest way I found to do it, I just grab my speed square that I have in my pouch anyways, and I set it down on the concrete. I slide it into place. I split the beam in half. It's really easy to do. And then I just take my pencil, mark the edge of the square. I always circle it so I can find it later. And I'm going to walk down to the other end of the wall there, and I'm going to do the same thing. So just take my speed square again, drop it onto the concrete, slide it into place until I see the beam. Right there. I split the beam. I can see it on the edge of the speed square. I do the same thing. I mark the edge of it, circle it, snap my line, and we have 90 degrees.